Logan, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and today we're going to continue our coverage for the Daily Headlines Report. So let me get through this, and then maybe we'll chit-chat at the end. So again, in no particular order, looks like as the White House starts panicking, and they sent a letter to Congress about running out of money to help Ukraine. It looks like one of their kind of neighbors, Poland, has sent a warning to NATO that through their intelligence, Russia could attack in less than 36 months. Now, that's interesting. I decided to put that in there to this report because this kind of raises a alarm bell for people. It raises awareness. It gets them back into the talking mood, and it's one of those. Well, look at what Russia is doing right now. We don't want things to happen to us, and so let's go ahead and fund them and give them stuff, so that way, Russia will be tied up where they are now, and they won't expand. Because what that report was basically saying is that if people start waning their support and stop sending money and aid and different munitions and different things like that, then negotiations are going to come. And as Russia has ramped up its different production of said munitions, then they will then in turn use that, because they are already have forces and different military assets deployed, that they will just continue on and march on over. And so I see this as not a actual warning that Russia is going to do anything. Could they? Absolutely, they could. Do I think they will? I don't think so. I don't. I could be wrong, my opinion. So I think this is more of a PR stunt, to where they are just trying to win kind of the hearts and minds, kind of using a fear tactic to try and leverage support and whatnot. But let's move on. So there is a draft that came out of the National Defense Industrial Strategy. Weird, they don't have an acronym for that. That says that American companies cannot build weapons fast enough to meet the global demand. Weird, we just kind of talked about that. And that they're actually struggling to keep up with the pace of China. Now, that's interesting. Now they're bringing China into the fold. So we just went through and talked about the fear that we've got to give all this money and aid and munitions over because of the threat of Russia. And now this draft, coincidentally, timing comes out that says we can't produce things fast enough to help our allies and our friends, and that China is going to very soon outpace us. So again, the coincidence of timing of this is just, it's very interesting. Let's move on. So the Pentagon has announced it will be sending a maritime task force to protect the commercial ships sailing through the Red Sea. Now, in case you have missed some of these reports, the Houthis have taken down or attacked various commercial vessels, along with what looks like a U.S. naval ship. So it looks like that area is getting a little heated and whatnot. So it looks like we are going to be sending over what looks like military vessels to, it looks like, try and provide some protection or escort or something along those lines. Looks like as of right now, because a lot of those shipping lanes have altered in the meantime, and they are worried about fuel prices and food prices and things like that. So we'll see what comes. This all the timing of this is just very, very odd. So data point, we'll keep our eye on it. Sticking with the naval assets, the USS Helena, which is a nuclear attack submarine, as well as the USS George Washington, which is a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, was spotted leaving the port of Norfolk, Virginia, with a destination unknown. So, interesting. These all seem to be semi-tying together because we have just went through and talked about in the last one right before this that we're sending over a maritime task force. I wonder what could be a part of the said task force. I don't know, maybe a nuclear-powered sub and an aircraft carrier. Maybe not. I don't know. We're just throwing and seeing what sticks. Maybe we'll find out here in the coming days. Something else I found interesting is the two presidents of Iran and Cuba have signed 7 cooperation documents as well as memorandums in Tehran. So, the president of Cuba traveled over to Tehran in Iran, and they had some meetings, and now they are signing various forms of documentation to further have a bigger cooperation. This all doesn't look anything threatening at the moment. It is a step forward to, for those of us that are old enough and remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, Iran is kind of that bigger, what do you want to call it? Kind of like the big brother of North Korea. Let's put it that way. So they're kind of that, you don't know, they're that wild card. Let's go with that. That seems like an appropriate way to put it. So they have technology, they have the weapons, they have the different means of being destructive. And basically, the people that do remember when you have Russia going over, well, the USSR back then, the Soviets going over into Cuba and having this Cuban Missile Crisis. Can we have the Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0, but this time with Iran? I don't know, but we'll see. Next, and if you follow me over on Facebook at the Rural Report, you saw that this morning I posted this, which is from Reuters, that Moodys has officially this morning downgraded China's credit rating to negative. And this brings into account. So we will get into another one, and I will bring this all together here in a moment. But if the U.S. fails, if we have some sort of crisis event, and let's say it's an economic event, there is no country that's going to come bail out the United States. And so if you take a big economy, i.e. China, well, China's credit rating just went down the tank. So anybody that thinks that China's economy is big enough to come over and just, here you go, here's a whole bunch of money to bail you out temporarily, doesn't look like that's going to be the plan. So there's a lot of economic things going on. And if you haven't noticed on the gold hit an all-time high on the futures. So we'll keep an eye on that. It looks like a bunch of the paper for gold kind of came out, flooded the market, drove prices way down. I saw crypto go crazy today. So we'll see how all this kind of interacts with each other over the next, say, a couple of days to maybe a couple of weeks. Next, a senior EU official. I always love how they do that. Let's just be really vague and not say anybody. Let's not give a name or a title or anything like that. Senior EU official. Okay. They put out a statement warning that there is a huge risk of a terrorist attack over the coming holidays. Now, that's probably true, okay? And I would venture to guess it probably is going to be true. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I would say that that's probably any of the NATO-ish style of countries. So that's not just Europe. That's going to be probably here in the United States, maybe Canada, possibly things like Australia and whatnot. So we will see. I've been saying this for the last couple of days and different various reports. There, we shouldn't live in that time to where you know, especially over the holidays. This is that time to where everything's kind of coming to an end for the year, and it's supposed to be time of spending with family, friends, and loved ones. And instead of bringing that down and you're kind of rolling it all out, spending that last little bit of time, and then you roll into a new year and get everything fresh and start it off in a good way, this time it seems like you're going to have to be on a little higher alert. Not panic, not fear, not anything along those lines, but anything like that is a very attractive soft target. Any sort of Christmas Day parade or uh, any sort of Christmas ceremony lighting or any sort of gathering of a tree light, of Christmas songs, of any of that stuff. So if you go out to a major city that you are going to attend something like that, you should make sure that you are situationally aware. I'm not going to say don't go, because anytime that you don't do something like that out of fear, they win. Even if they don't do anything, they win. So I I don't go to those big events like 4th of July and all that. I'm not going anywhere near a major city, and it's not because of that fear. It's there's way too many people, and when you put a lot of people in one place, usually bad things happen. So I don't do those, but that's me personally. I'm not telling you what to do. You, judging by the demographics and everything of checking my metrics on this, most of my audience that watches this, I would say 80% or above, is 30 years of age and older. So you're a grown adult. You know your situation, where you live, and all that. All I'm saying is if you go out, be careful. Um, let's see. So next on the list is, it looks like on Monday, a report came out that shows that the U.S. federal debt payment now exceeds our national defense budget. I saw there was quite a few channels that covered this, so I'm not going to go over this ad nauseum, but the people that don't know, on our payment for our national debt, not the debt and the interest alone, our interest on debt now exceeds the entire budget for the entire defense for the year. That's massive. I mean, the defense is one of the biggest payments that the country has. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard, we spend more on our military and defense than the next, what, 8, 10 plus countries combined. That's how much we spend. So our interest payment alone exceeds that. I mean, if we can get into a whole big tangent. We're not going to on the economic crisis that we're kind of already in, but we'll leave that for another video. Next, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for this, but I've seen a lot of people share it, so it should be okay. In this video, if you have not seen this, apparently a home in Arlington, Virginia explodes as police approach it to try and serve and execute a search warrant. Now, if you haven't seen that video, in my opinion, I'm not an expert in this, that was not homemade. That looks like something a lot bigger. That looks like whatever was in there, nobody wants that out at all. So, in my opinion, there was definitely something in there that was never supposed to see the light of day, and they made sure of it. Now, Could I be wrong? Yes. I mean, there could be multiple things. I doubt we'll ever know the full truth behind that story. But that was an impressive video. I did mute it because there's some language in there. And on a tangent note, half a second, excuse me, please, for a couple of people that have asked me, like, oh, why don't you use language and whatnot in your videos? And my reason is because, one, I'm a full grown man, I'm an adult, and I can make the choice on whether I say a 4-letter word or not. My reason is I have a 4-year-old that is a vocabulary sponge right now and that likes to watch daddy's videos. And a lot of times during my videos, he's right here, okay? And so he's listening to me, and I don't want to teach him said words yet, okay? I know kids are exposed to it, okay? And he will be exposed to it. I get it. But he's not at the age of 4 to discern when is an appropriate time to use said word and when not to use said word. So until he gets to that age, I'm doing my best not to expose him to that. Now, when daddy goes walking through and his little toe catches the corner of the couch, he is regrettably exposed to said 4-letter words, okay? So I try and keep this show family friendly because I know that I have some people that have their grandkids sitting with them as they watch this. So my show, I can do it how I want, and this is the way, at least for the right now and for the foreseeable future, I will do my best not to be F-bombing everything, okay? Sorry, let's move on. Next, so on social media, there is videos that are making rounds that allegedly showing large groups of military-aged males that appear to be Chinese nationals crossing the border into Hot Springs, California. Now, I find this very interesting because of where they're going. They're going to California. Okay, they're not coming up and going through the eastern part of Texas or anything along those lines. Where they're going, and you know, if these videos are true, which they look like they kind of are, but you never know. It's all just really, really interesting. So it's something that we probably need to keep an eye on, because with all the focus and attention on the southern border and how many people are coming across, we tend to look at mainly the Texas border. Yes, some of it's Arizona and whatnot, but mainly we focus right here on Texas. Well, for those that are geography impaired a little bit, Texas is here and California is here. And so if our focus is here and we're not seeing what's coming here, then if this turns out to be a true story, how many of these specific group of people have been pouring in there before somebody noticed and before video got out? So interesting point, data point. Let's keep an eye on it. Now, the last story, and let's stick with California if we're already over there. So it looks like California is said to start fining stores that don't have a gender-neutral kids' toy section. Give you a moment, let that sink in. So yes, I know it's California, okay? I get it. But this takes effect, who knows where else it can spread. Hopefully, somebody with some sort of common sense is going to step in and stop this. If you have a store, it's yours. You do what you want with it. It's a free country. If you want to sell all boy toys, okay. If you want to sell all girl toys, okay. It's your store. And so for somebody to come in and say, you have to sell this specific, no, I'm already against it. Nope, don't like it. Now, if you choose to do though, okay, you chose to do it. If that's all you want to sell, it's your store. Do what you want. The dangerous part is when some sort of government entity comes in and forces you to do something. That's where I have a problem. So, I just thought it was worth mentioning. It may not be strategically important to you, at least in the prepping round, but that it was enough that I wanted to throw it in there to maybe get my opinion out about it. So, but that's all I have for the moment, at least for today. Um, a couple of quick things. As of the release of this video, you basically have just over 24 hours to go and enter into the Christmas tactical Christmas stocking giveaway. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and check out the videos and you will see, I think it's like 2.5, 3 minutes. It'll have the little Christmas stocking, says enter to win, all that. Just watch the 2.5, 3 minutes, whatever it is. It'll tell you everything you need to know on how to enter, how to claim the prize if you win, the rules, all that fun stuff. It's well worth it, in my opinion. I put a lot of thought and everything into this, so I hope that it's going to go to the right person. We've already had a ton of people enter, so it should be really fun. And then we will do the drawing on the Wednesday, Workshop Wednesday live stream on the following day, which will be tomorrow. And so you must be present when we do the drawing. It starts at 9 p.m. We'll probably wait 10 minutes-ish to make sure everybody gets in, because I know how YouTube and notifications go. But try and be there, and then we will do our winner. If you are there when your name is called, then you will claim the prize, and I will ship it to you free of charge, and Merry Christmas. If you are not there when I call your name, you will have 5 minutes. If you do not claim it in that 5 minutes, we're going to pick somebody else. You must be on the live to claim it. Then the last thing that I want to mention, well, I take it back. Last thing, point A. I'm running a contest over on Facebook. If you have not gone over there, I understand Facebook's the devil. So if you don't have a Facebook, no problem. I'm not going to tell you to go do it. But I do have a contest going on over there. Just scroll down until you can find it. I may try and pin it to the top, actually, now that I think about it. But it is a design contest. As long as you have the design, you drew it, you made it, whatever. So long as the design is yours, then drop it down in the comments. We're going to do a vote on it, on everybody's thing. So it can be, if you have a YouTube channel or you have anything, if you have a logo, put your logo. It doesn't have to be my logo. Put whatever you want on there, and then we're going to vote on it. And the top one that gets the most likes on it, I'm going to do a coffee mug, and I will put it up for sale in the Rural Report merchandise store. It'll be a limited time offer of anybody that wants to go buy it. And whoever does the winning design, I will personally pay and have that design shipped to you free of charge for winning the contest. So we'll see. There's already been some good entries. I really like them. And then we're going to play with the merchandise store. So if you haven't gone over there, even if you don't buy anything, I encourage you. It's down in the comment, or down in the description of this video. Go check it out. You know, it's free to go check out. So with that, that's all I've got. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for giving me your time. And with that, stay tuned, because there's more information to come. God bless each and every one of you. I hope you guys have a good night. And above all else, please remember to remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.